Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the TC32 made in Mexico cheek protector style headguard. So check it out. Hey guys, Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on the TC32 made in Mexico cheek protector style headgear. This retails for $140 with free shipping here to the United States. I got mine in this all blue colorway, size medium. It is a full genuine leather headgear that is handmade in Mexico. If you're interested on seeing what other colorways and designs they have to offer, you can either go to the TC32 website or on their social media like their Instagram. They have an entire gallery there. Do keep in mind that if they don't have any of their in-stock basic colors like this all blue or they're all white, you can do custom colorways, but I believe there's a 2 to 3 week lead time when you do purchase that. So keep that in mind if you're looking at doing a custom colorway. Now this headgear, when I put it on the scale, weighed in at roughly about 14 ounces. So comparatively speaking to like the lighter headgears like the ringside ultralight, I know a lot of people like to compare to the winning 2900, which is very lightweight. I believe that's like 10 or 11 ounces. This is 14 ounces, so it's not terribly heavy like a face saver, but it's not the most lightweight headgear. I'd say it's right there in the middle of the road. And to be honest with you, it's pretty much negligible. Once you have it on, I personally didn't notice it being heavier on my head just because it's such a small incremental amount of weight for it to be up by 4 ounces over like the ringside ultralight headgear. So, but I did want to put on the scale for those of you that are curious on how much it weighs. Now, when you're looking at this headgear, you'll probably notice that it has kind of that Japanese inspired look to it with the raised cheek protectors. You've seen a lot of companies, I've done reviews on them too, Title, Boxing, Ring the Cage, you name it, have kind of all their own version of a raised cheek protector open face headgear. It uses this full genuine leather on the outside, very similar to what they use on their gloves. Has a very strong smell like you typically get from a lot of the Mexican made gloves that has that really strong leather smell to it. I know that some companies like Reyes also use a water repellent spray that they put like a chemical on the leather. That way it protects it from sweat and moisture. You have that TC32 oval patch, says one day, one gold, made in Mexico, professional boxing equipment. Nice thing about this is very smooth and soft, and it's stitched into the forehead area. So it's not like a cheap patch or a print on there. It feels really good. And that's really the only logo on this headgear is right here on the forehead where you really need it. Only person that's gonna see it is gonna be your opponent, and hopefully you won't be seeing your head too much. You'll be seeing your gloves. So you have that. The texture of the leather is a little bit more on the smoother side, and I'd say that the sheen on it, I'd say, is anywhere between like a satin to a matte sheen. So it's not an overly shiny headgear. For those of you that want more of a subdued blue look, this would definitely be a nice headgear for you. It's not like a royal blue. It's kind of like I wouldn't say gray, but if you were to mix blue with a little bit of gray, to me, this is the color you would come out with. You do have the raised cheek protectors right there. In terms of thickness, you're looking, I'd say, at about, I'd say maybe an inch to almost like an inch and a quarter of padding. The exterior padding that's forward facing or outside facing, should I say, is more denser than the inside padding that's up against your face and your skin. The padding on the inside is definitely softer, so it kind of conforms to the curvature of your face and the structure of your cheekbones and your chin and your temples a lot more than the exterior. The exterior feels like it's a harder latex or EVA style foam, which is gonna take the brunt, obviously, of the strike or the punches when it lands on your face. So it's definitely on the harder side on the exterior. Again, you have maybe about an inch and a quarter of that same padding on the forehead and temple area to give yourself that protection. It has my favorite type of closure, which is going to be lace up. For the top crown, you have 5 loops that are all leather that connect the crown. That's going to be the adjustment for the depth of the headgear, so how far it sits down on your head. And then another favorite feature of mine which I love more than Velcro, is going to be the rear lace-up closure, and that's going to be the tightness of the circumference around your head. So depth and circumference around your head. You have the white laces there, nothing too crazy, black plastic tips. You also have the eardrum or ear protection right here. Again, you have, I'd say, about an inch of medium to firm density foam padding with the crossbar. That's also pretty firm with padding on both sides. So you have that as well as on the left side of the head. You'll also notice that you have a firm EVA or latex style padding that kind of comes around on the back of the head and tapers down right here. So you can see, aside from the ear donut, you also have a little bit of padding on the back to give yourself a little bit of extra resistance if a punch does somehow land on the back of your head. So I do like that added feature right there. The bottom has the chin strap, which is going to be a belt buckle style, all leather construction as well. You can see it has 7 holes. If you wanted to get more holes, then you could probably get yourself a little drill in there. And also a metal belt buckle with a tab right here to hold the buckle into place once you run it through. I know a lot of you guys are fans of the plastic quick clip system, but this is more of a traditional metal buckle style. And again, this also contributes to the headgear being a little bit on the heavier side. It is leather on the inside of the headgear, just like it is on the exterior. So when you sweat, there is a little bit of movement with this headgear, but it fits very nicely. So even though you have to adjust it a little bit, it's not too bad once you start sweating in here. You know, I know some companies like Rival, Phenom use a synthetic liner on the inside, which helps keep grip to your face, but this one does use full leather like most traditional Mexican-made style headgear. So give you guys a look again on that side. Can give you the rotation. Quality-wise, the headgear is actually really nice. I like the leather on here. The stitching overall is pretty good. I'd say if there was any areas that I had to critique would maybe be just the way they cut the piping on certain spots right there. You can see that the piping all has a stitching that's kind of peeking out from underneath it on that side. But other than that, I mean, there's really no imperfections with the leather. You can see the padding is done nice and even. The shape of the headgear is good. When you push it open, you can see that it forms nicely around the head. So in terms of the shape and the quality, definitely top notch. Leather-wise, I wouldn't go as far as to say that the leather is as good as Reyes. I mean, to me, Reyes has some of the best leather out there, but it's definitely up there in terms of the quality of the leather. You can see the stitching. Looks all pretty good overall. All right, let me go ahead and slide this on my head so you guys can see how it fits. Typically I wear a 7.5 fitted hat for reference. And you'll notice here that compared to some other headgears, cheek protector style, that there's definitely an emphasis on more padding on this headgear. So because of that, the headgear is deeper in terms of the padding depth. And that does affect your vision just a little bit because of how deep it is. So with my peripheral vision, actually let me go ahead and put the buckle on first before I start talking. One thing also with the buckle, it has this roller at the bottom. So it's nice when you pull down on the leather strap that it rolls into place. So you can put that on and then you can push the belt through into that tab, which holds that piece and doesn't just let it dangle down. So I definitely like that. You can see the positioning of it's perfect too. It's right underneath the chin, not too far forward, right up here, and not too far back on your throat. So positioning is really good. The sizing is perfect, honestly, as far as the cheek protectors go. I hate it when the cheek protectors are too big and it kind of pushes on your nostrils. With this one, you can see that it gives you enough room to where if you do take an incoming shot, depending on the power of the shot, it still will touch your nose, but it does a really good job because of how thick the cheek protectors are of really bracing and taking the brunt of the shot off. So you have that harder padding on the exterior or opponent facing padding that's more dense. And then the padding on the inside that's up against your skin is definitely softer, so it feels more comfortable. I didn't notice any pressure points or any areas around my head, like on the back of my head, on my temple, my forehead, my cheeks that started to hurt or was pushing against it. So that's a really good sign as well. Again, that has a lot to do with the softness of the padding on the inside of the headgear. I'll turn to the side and you can see that my nose is pretty big. and my nose is pretty much hidden from the side view right there because of the cheek protectors. The only drawback again is going to be the field of vision is a little bit smaller than some of the other, I guess, Japanese style headgears. The winning, or not the winning, the Title Bomber, the Phenom has a little bit bigger field of vision. This one's not bad, but it's not great either, just because of how deep this is. So I can see this entire region of the cutout for my eyes. I can obviously see the front cheek protectors, but it's definitely better than a face saver. So if you're kind of in between getting a face saver or a full-on face saver because you don't want to get any contact to your nose, but you also want the visibility of a open face cheek protector headgear, I think this would be a good compromise between the two. So you can see that the ergonomics is perfect. My ears are exactly inside the donuts. It's not pushing on my earlobes or on the sides of my ears, the cartilage on my ears on both sides. It looks really good. The depth, I already pre-adjusted it, so all I really have to do, since the rear closure and the top closure, I already laced it, and it's sized to my head, all you have to do is put it on and adjust the chin strap. And you can see the back is nice as well. You have a good amount of padding. You have the cutout for your neck, that tapered cutout, so you have full mobility. Feels good as well. So yeah, I mean, overall, I was surprised with this headgear. When I initially got it out the box and I put it on, I thought that the field of vision, and I thought it would be more of like a stiff kind of headgear, but the more I use it and I broke it in, and this is actually a really nice headgear. And I'd say one of the best when it comes to protection, but also not being a full-blown face saver because of how thick this padding is. Compared to like the winning FG2900, it's definitely thicker. The Phenom headgear, the Ringside Ultralight is definitely thicker padding than that. So you're kind of having a trade-off between protection, field of vision, being able to see, especially shots that come from downwards, upwards, like uppercuts, or if you're using this in like kickboxing, like knees or kicks that come up, you still have this little bit of opening right here to where you can actually see that shot coming from your peripheral vision, where if it was a face bar, it would be completely blocked off and all you have is the vision going straight forward. So there is a compromise, but overall, I'm really satisfied with this headgear for full genuine leather made in Mexico at $140, including shipping here in the United States. I think it's a really solid headgear. I feel like it hits all of the check marks in the right way. And my only drawback or critique and opportunity with this would be just the field of vision. But again, that's going to be the trade-off with the thickness of padding and giving yourself a little bit more extra protection. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find this TC32 Mexican-made cheek protector style headgear. See you guys later. Take care.